Like, share, and subscribe to my channel as I continue to provide with trusted information for you to use to make a decision. No, do you see the level of frustration on my face? Are you able to see how frustrated I am? Possibly no. But if you have, welcome to today's presentation. I want to look at e-banking fraud in Jamaica or online banking fraud in Jamaica. How many persons are aware that there are a number of Jamaicans who are hurting as a result of what is unfolding, happening in the banking system or online, or using online payment to do transactions, to do business? You may not be aware of what is actually going on in Jamaica. And if you are not aware, then I understand and I appreciate your ignorance. So if you are not aware, I'm going to educate you as to what is actually going on in Jamaica. And if you are, I'm going to actually give you more information on what is transpiring in your neck of the wood called Jamaica. Now, it is not surprising for a number of persons who are online who sometimes have recognized that your banking information is all the way in some country that you have never visited, or you are transacting business in some place that you have never been, and you are held accountable for whatever you have not done. So a study was done recently by myself and a number of colleagues or a number of my students, where we looked at the banking fraud in Jamaica, and I want to relate some things to you. We studied over 1,300 Jamaicans across all 14 parishes, and these are some findings that you may find startling. We asked the question, have you been a victim of electronic banking fraud or online banking fraud or e-banking fraud? And 60.9% of Jamaicans indicated that they have been a victim of online banking fraud. We asked other questions. Have you been fleeced? Have you been reimbursed your funds? And 32% of persons have been reimbursed of their monies. What does it mean? 68% of Jamaicans who have been fleeced have not been reimbursed of their monies. What were some of the most popular approaches used by scammers or hackers to fleece persons of money in Jamaica? Smishing with a 63.1%. And what smishing is an email is sent to your account or a WhatsApp is sent to your account, and you click on that WhatsApp and then your money disappears from your account. We ask another question. If the individual has a family member or a relative who has been fleeced, and 88% of Jamaicans indicated that a relative or a friend has been fleeced of resources using the online banking system. What does it mean? Let's analyze. First thing, 61% of persons have been fleeced of monies in the banking system, and 68% have not been reimbursed of their money. It means that your hard-earned resources, money that is, that you have worked for, toiled for, saved, you have lost. And no one is held accountable but you. That means a number of Jamaicans are hurting, a number of Jamaicans are suffering from transactions that they have not knowingly or willingly participated in. And all that has happened to them is that they have been fleeced of resources, and the burden is now on them to continue their lives. Now, I want to think for a second. If an individual has been fleeced of all his or her resources, let's say, for example, you receive your pay for the end of the month, and you have been fleeced of all of that, how are you to manage? I want to think for a second. How are people managing Jamaica, knowing fully well that the banks have been encouraging online banking and are not protecting individuals against banking fraud? Or let me restate that. The banks are leaving the responsibility on the individual to protect himself against banking fraud, or online banking fraud, that is. Where is the legislation to deal with this matter? Can the people continuously be hurt in such a manner? Who is protecting the hard working Jamaicans against what is unfolding in society? I want to think for a second. A number of persons who have been fleeced are adults who have children attending school, children who must eat, parents, and other individuals who depend on them for sustenance, for livelihood, for recreation, and for existence. When these persons have been fleeced of resources, what is going to happen to these families? How many families are going to bed without dinner because they have been fleeced? And 68% of those who have been fleeced in Jamaica have not been reimbursed of their funds. This matter cannot persist. If the banks are encouraging persons to use the online system, then measures ought to be put in place to secure the funds of the clients or the customers who have monies in the bank. If the ultimate responsibility is on the shoulders or the hearts or the minds or the will or the wherewithal of the clients, then the question must be asked, does it make sense to keep your money in the banks? The responsibility of protecting the funds cannot be left more so with the clients. The banks have an ultimate responsibility, having been put money in their care to protect the customers. Whatever the banks want to argue, whatever system they want to actually indicate or promulgate or state that this is what they are doing, that matter must be looked at. The people's money must be protected. The banks have the responsibility to protect money in their care. I understand that person might be careless in clicking some of these emails or messages. But the ultimate responsibility must be placed in the banks. The banks ought to have a security system in which even if an individual has selected or gone into an email or a WhatsApp message, it should not be that your money can be taken out of your account by a simple email message. The banks must be held responsible for monies placed in their care. A system ought to be structured, ought to be implemented in the banks to protect the customers' resources. A number of people are hurting. Where's the government? Where is the opposition? Where is Mr. Andrew Holness in asking the banks to protect the customers? Is your resource at the disposal of anyone who can actually go into the bank? I'm going to ask another question. Is a part of the hacking internal? Who's protecting the customers? I'm asking the question, who's protecting the customers? Where's the government that ought to be protecting the people of Jamaica? Who is protecting the customers of the banks? Why are the people responsible more than the banks in protecting the resources that are in the banks? If we are going to be arguing for an online system, then something must be put in place to address and to ensure that monies are secured in these banks. This one's a difficult one to deal with because a number of my people, a number of Jamaicans are hurt. A number of people are going to beds, including their children, without food. and they have worked or toiled, some for 2 weeks, some for a week, some for a month, some for a quarter, some semi annually, some for years, just to be fleeced of their funds by simply clicking on an email or a WhatsApp message. Now, with 62% of Jamaicans having selected or gone into an email or a message and have lost your resources, is that easy to lose your money? If it is that easy to lose your money, why are we keeping money in the banks? Is it better to keep your money at home, under your bed, dug it into a hole, have a friend keep it somewhere safe in a vault? The question I'm asking, how secured is your money in the bank? And if your money is not secured in the bank, who's going to protect you from fraudsters when some of these fraudsters possibly are in the banks? This one is difficult to deal with. I'm asking you to like, share, and subscribe to my channel as I continue to provide with trusted information. Who is protecting the people of Jamaica? Who is protecting the customers?